afternoon. I just wanted to jump on and talk about something that has came up multiple times this week because I want to talk to a person who is doing everything right, showing up, working hard, carrying the weight, holding it all together, and yet still feels behind. I've been talking to a lot of those people this week, and so I felt compelled to share some tips on how to get past this. And if you're pushing harder and it actually work, you wouldn't still feel this way. So today I want to talk about why that is and what actually needs to change. And what prompted this live is we were having a coaching conversation with multiple of our clients, and they were talking about during tax season they were going to actually have to start working a lot of hours. And we went back to, why did you start your business? It wasn't work to work that many hours. Because let's be honest, there was a season in my business where I truly believe the answer was to push, work longer, answer faster, hold it together tighter. And from the outside, it looked successful, but on the inside, I was exhausted, frustrated because no matter how hard I worked, the business always needed more. What I didn't realize was this: I hadn't built a business. I had built a business that only worked when I sacrificed myself. I had built myself a job. And that's when it hit me. The problem wasn't my work ethic. And like many of you, I was taught, this is what I was taught, is in order to get further ahead, you have to keep working harder and harder and harder. But the problem was it was how the business was structured. And this is what I see time and time again, and how I was leading it. And here's the truth that most business owners don't want to hear. If your business only functions when you're exhausted, it doesn't actually function. Pushing harder doesn't fix the broken structure. Control doesn't create safety. And carrying everything yourself isn't leadership, it's actual survival. And survival can get you through a season, but it will never give you freedom. And many people started their business for that one word, is freedom. But that's actually not what they have. They have something quite the opposite, and it's called tied down, or two words, tied down. So I want to share a framework with you that these three shifts, I'm hoping will change everything for you. And so the first thing I want you to think about: when you're in hero mode, you fix problems as they happen. But architects design things so they don't need saving. Hero leadership keeps information in your head. Architect leadership communicates expectations clearly and once. If your team needs you to move every decision forward, that's not a people issue, that's a design issue. And this is where many of you are living. You hire people, but those people you hire need you to move forward on everything. And if you're feeling this, I promise you, you're not alone. We coach on this every single day. And that's a design issue, and that can be fixed. And then the shift number two: most control comes from fear, not ego. Fear that things will fall apart, fear that people won't get it, fear that it's easier just do it yourself. I hear that one constantly. And I battled this one myself constantly, because sometimes I do feel like it's easier to do it myself than go write a process or by the time I make the task and all of that stuff. But when I have to stop and look at, okay, when this thing comes up again, guess who's doing it again? And I have to do that over and over. So I have to consciously say, okay, I'm making the process for this right now because I never want to do this task again. But clarity is what actually creates consistency. And that's where most teams are struggling, because clarity is not there. And by clarity, I mean clear roles, clear expectations, clear definitions of done, clear communication. Because when clarity exists, control becomes unnecessary. I hope you're getting what I'm saying, because many of you don't have this clear piece down. Everybody's like putting out fires all day, every day. But when we're clear, we don't have to control it. So, shift number 3, busyness feels productive. Busyness feels productive, but it often hides unspoken expectations. And what I mean by this is, instead of reacting to everything, intentional leadership communicates what matters right now, what doesn't, what can wait, and what no longer belongs on the plate. This isn't about doing more, it's about leading differently. So, for example, we had some last minute projects that came in last week that I wanted to get out before Christmas. So, in the task management system, I communicated that by putting a 1 on their task. So, therefore, they knew that was a high priority item and they knew it had to get done this week. So, they shifted some of the other stuff. They knew what the priority was because I was clear. And those projects got done. And there's another thing I want you to hear me say. Most of the work exhausting business owner isn't the work itself. It's the communication cleaning up from things that were never clear in the first place. That's why you're answering question after question after question all the time, because we weren't clear. And I know it because I've lived it. Because unclear expectation creates rework. Rework creates frustration. Frustration creates control. Control creates burnout. Do you see how the cycle just happens over and over again? And in the middle of this is where we say, well, it was just easier if I just did it myself. And suddenly you're pushing even harder again. I hope that you see where I'm going with this. And I'm going to say this cycle again. Unclear expectations creates rework. Rework creates frustration. Frustration creates what we feel we need to control. And then control is what's creating the burnout and the overwhelm. And then suddenly you're doing it over and over again. Is this making sense? So I want you to do something for me. I want you to ask yourself something honestly. If nothing changes, you keep doing exactly the same thing that you're doing right now, will you still be leading your business this way next year? And do you actually want to? Because this is where you get to choose, do I want to do this again next year? And I get the question all the time is, how can I possibly work on my business during tax season? I'm telling you, that is the best time to work on your business, because that was when all shit hits the fan and where everything is in chaos. That is the absolute best time to work on your business, because that is where you're going to see the ugly truth. This was in 2020 or 2021, 2020 probably. No, it was 2021. This was when I went all in on working in the business during tax season. So I know it works. Was it easy? Was it fun? No, but it worked, because not, I gave myself little things that I would fix. Maybe it was after tax season I was fixed, but I would capture the information. So, or I would fix something each day. I would give myself a block of time to fix each day. So I hear that objection all the time. Tax season's coming. There's nothing I can do about it. And so, yes, I will still be in the same situation next year. But if we wait to the summer, it's not going to happen, because then we're playing catch up from tax season. The cycle just keeps going, going, and going. So, what I want you to do, if this resonated with you, if you're realizing that pushing harder isn't the answer, I invite you to book a call with me and let's talk about it. This isn't a sales conversation, it is a real conversation. We'll look at where your business is asking too much of you, where communication is breaking down, and what needs to shift so you're no longer carrying everything. Because that's where the magic happens, is when you're not the one carrying everything. And the link is in the comments below. And if this gives you permission to stop pushing today, let me know in the comments, because many of you are pushing like crazy right now, trying to just get something done that you've been pushing off, pushing off, pushing off. So let me know in the comments. I hope to see you soon and have a fantastic rest of your day.